Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Passionately Speaking, our passionate call where we talk about public speaking and, all of us are just passionate for public speaking. So passionate and yet hungry for more knowledge. And this is the right place to get that knowledge. And today we're going to talk about something really simple, but something really powerful. And that is eye contact, mastering eye contact. We've talked a lot about, beginning our speech and the middle of our speech and our stories and all of this and how we need audience participation, how we can show the love to our audience, all of that. But what about eye contact? They say that eye contact or eyes are the window to the soul, which means we can really see into a person if we take a look. It also says that when we don't look at somebody, it has its own meaning as well. So when we don't look at someone, whether we're speaking or not, we're always usually talking or listening, as they're usually the two things that we're doing, unless we're sleeping or praying. But even when we're praying, we better be listening. But what do we need to do? Is what does it tell us when we're not looking? We've all been guilty, right? Or we've had it done to us. And usually what it means is you're not telling the truth. There's some doubt, there's some shame, there's something around that. Now, of course, if you're not looking at the person because you're looking up or you're looking to the right or the left, oftentimes that means you're thinking and you're trying to get the answer. It may not be, but it always says something if you're not looking. So if you don't want someone to read your thoughts, look them in the eye because then they're just going to be looking into your very soul. So, how do we do this when we have an audience? When we have hundreds and hundreds of people, how do we look at them? We know we want to because if we avoid them, then it's kind of saying we're not really telling the truth or we're not comfortable with our truth or it might have different meanings. But how do we look at everyone when we have a big crowd, when there's thousands of people? Well, it's really simple. It's the same way you would look at one person. The only difference is that we break up our audience into quadrants. So we look at an area and then we look at another area and then so on and so forth. But what stays the same as when we look at somebody individually is the amount of time that we are looking in that quadrant. You see, when we look out at a quadrant, an area, how many of you have had speakers do that where they're looking right at you, or you at least think they're looking at you, and you're like, me? Are you calling on me? And it's the person next to you or behind you. How many of you ever had that happen to you? Yes, I've had it happen a lot. That's how effective it is because we all think they're looking at us. So, how powerful is that that you can look at a group of 50 people and they all think you are looking into their eyes, into their soul? That's pretty powerful. And that means you can transfer your thoughts, your feelings, your lessons. You can pour them right in to those 50 people the same amount of time as you would one person. Pretty cool, huh? So here's how we do it. Now, when you look at your audience, it's best to look at your audience when you first come on stage. That develops credibility from the start. So you're not waiting, you're not looking at your notes, you just come right out. And after they introduce you, before you utter a word, you scan the audience. And I mean scan, but I mean look into their eyes. You're not looking at their laps, you're not looking above their heads. That old saying, look above their heads, I don't know who made that up, but they need to be shot because that's ridiculous. It doesn't help you, it doesn't help the audience. And we know if you're looking above our heads, we know that because we can see that. But if you're looking like right at us or right into the quadrant, right in the middle of that quadrant, we can't tell. So We want to make sure that you are looking. So when you first come out, you scan the audience, look at as each quadrant and go back and forth. There's only four quadrants, so it's not going to take a long time. I'm not saying take a minute. It's just really brief, okay? But that starts your credibility and your connection to the audience. Then, as you're talking, you're going to talk as if you're talking, looking at one person at a time. One person at a time. When we look at one person, now, if it's small audiences, then this is what we absolutely want to do is look at every single person. What's a small audience? Probably 20, maybe 25. You really want to take turns and look at every single individual in that audience and spend time with them. Hold on, Luana's coming in. Oh, that's a beautiful picture. Wow, Dr. Luana, that's a gorgeous picture you just had showed on there that's on your Zoom account. Beautiful. Okay. So when you're looking at an individual, whether you're talking to one or many, but right now let's just say it's a small group and you're taking turns looking into their eyes. You want to take about 4 seconds. And in those 4 seconds, you want to use a technique I call the 4 C's. If you've been to my speaker training, this should be familiar because we do it in that speaker training. So the 4 C's, and what they stand for is contact, connect, communicate, and continue. Contact, connect, you're making that connection. Communicate, and it's communicate can be verbal or it can be really like communicating, like, I'm glad you're here. I appreciate your smile. It can be any thought. It does not have to be a verbal communication. And then the last one is continue. You move on. Contact, connect, communicate, continue. Go to the next person. Contact, connect, communicate, and continue. And go to the next person. And you do that person after person after person. Now, do you have to go straight down the row? No. You can do a few here and then go to the back row, do a few there, then do a few in there, and then come back to the front row. So it doesn't have to be, like you're following some ball, right? You want it to look natural and be natural, but the key is you don't want to be like looking over them. You want to look through them. You want to look at them and through them. That's how they're going to get your message. And guess what? When you do that, I can guarantee you, your audience will pay closer attention because they don't know when you're going to look at them. They don't know when you're going to communicate something with them. And again, part of that communication can be a smile. But if you're speaking, then you're communicating your feeling of what it is you're saying. That's the communication that's happening. And they're going to be like ready for more. They're going to be ready. They know you're going to look at them and they're going to be ready and looking up at you, waiting for you to look at them again. Why? Because you gave them something. You connected and communicated with them. You gave them something. They felt something. It's hard not to feel something when someone looks you straight in the eye, right? It's hard not to feel them because that's our connection. It's a direct connection. Now, when you are doing this to a group, you want to make sure that when you are looking at anybody, and again, this can be standing up talking one on one or standing up in a group, you want to make sure that you're not staring any more than about 4 seconds. It feels like staring. And in an audience situation, that feels embarrassing, right? Because they know everybody's seeing you stare at them and they're like, and they'll turn away. And guess what? They'll never look at you again as the speaker. They'll never look at you. They'll be doing stuff because they don't want to feel that embarrassment. They want to feel a connection, but they don't want to feel embarrassed, put on the spot, like you're staring at them. And I've seen speakers do that, and the speakers, they didn't do it on purpose. They were just unaware. They were kind of in their head talking about their speech, right? And they just kept looking and talking to one person. Makes that person feel uncomfortable, and it makes the rest of the audience feel uncomfortable. And guess what? Nobody hears your message. So that's how important this eye contact is and the communication is to your audience. Okay? Now, let's go around the room. That's really all I have for you today. Let's go around the room. I want to hear some horror stories or some um, great stories of eye contact, whether you were in the audience or you've been speaking. If there is anything that happened to you that you might want to share. See, I do this because we all learn vicariously through other people. If we hear that person do that, then we know, oh, okay, we don't want to do that. I mean, it works throughout our lifetime, right? Somebody did something and then this was what happened, and you go, oh, mental note to self, I'm not going to do that one, right? Not going to do that, not going to play on the freeway. So that's why we do this, and that's why we can learn. Well, let's go to some of our scholar speakers like Jackie. Jackie, I'm sure you've had many fun things happen to you on stage. Anything that had to do with eye contact or the lack of.
Was just struggling to think of it. I really can't think of any times. I think I do fairly well at engaging an audience, but I've never really paid attention until you just said this, to what I'm doing.
Okay, great. Well, see what happens when you're a little more deliberate about it, really looking into their eye. Because are you looking into their eye or are you just looking at their face as a speaker?
I don't know that. I'm going to have to wait till I
Right,
speak again to find that out.
right. Now I know Dr. Renee spoke to big crowds, huge crowds. So how do you handle the eye contact in a big crowd? You're muted.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so how I handle it is quite simple. Uh, when I look at their eyebrow or the middle of their nose, right up here, and it
Okay.
looks like I'm looking at their eyes, and I scan the room, and we did that for the book launch because it was not a gigantic group. I mean, it was still under 100, but still, as I walked through the audience, I put my hand on their shoulder so they felt very nurtured, especially after they shared a short little story, and it was a really a good way to connect because I had eye contact, and I did do that thing about the quadrants that I learned from you years ago, RV, the
Hmm.
quadrants,
Hmm.
and it worked
Good.
out very well. And then when I did 4 points, or actually it's 5 points, it is love and relationships between men and women, or business relationships, or whatever it is. It's not just about love, but respect, acknowledgement, attention, affection, and open communication. So I did. I went through the quarter. I divided the room into 4 parts. At each point, I stood in the one part. Remember, you told us to use the stage to make a point. Do you remember that? Don't just stand in the middle, but don't move around too much, but to make a point. You stand here, and then I stood here. And I did everything the RV method and the formula. So it worked out really well. And people got it, because it was like 4 points, even though I had a PowerPoint and I had it on the slide. For each point, people really got it.
Good.
So it worked out very well.
Good. Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, it sounds like easy peasy, but to control a group of hundreds of people and keep
Mhm.
them all engaged, it's a challenge. It's really a challenge. All right. Okay. How about Carol? How about you?
Well, what comes to mind is a speaking opportunity I had, and my stage was ground level, but the audience was the, it was raised seating. So in essence, and it was in a kind of half circle. So I remember struggling with that because, um, the auditorium as well was not full. And so
Uh-huh.
you had people over here and you had people over here and you had people up there and people here. And I was how do I stay connected? Because if I'm looking over here, then I'm, not over here. And it was interesting. I mean, I delivered my speech and I did work at um, very conscious of wanting to stay connected. But it was interesting because at the end of the speech, I did have some people come up to me and basically tell me that I had left them out. They felt left out. So I don't
Okay.
know how. What would you do if that was your stage of where you're at, ground level, so to speak, and your audience is up and around you?
Yeah, that's a challenge. There's a couple of ways you can handle that, and one is that almost goes beyond what we're talking about as far as just eye contact. Hi, Peggy. I
Mhm.
just want to say hi, welcome. Um, so what I would probably do is verbally engage them. How are we doing up there? We've seen speakers do that. Oh, you're in the nosebleed section. Oh, really get them involved that way. Or, if you do quadrants, kind of like what Dr. Love was talking about, and have each of them participate, that's a quadrant. Okay, now let's hear only from the top. So like I said, it goes beyond just looking at them. You have to look, they're so far away, you have to look and speak in order to connect. Same with if it's a big audience, and some audiences are all level and then they're way back there and you can't see them because maybe you're on the level and you're not on stage and you can't see them. That's happened to me. And I've had to like pretend and turn around and move and say, okay, how about you in the back? Let's hear from the back, specifically. And you have to make more of a verbal effort. So combine verbal and eyes to larger
Okay.
audiences or audiences that are on different levels. Yes, Dr. Love, you have
Yeah,
anything
I was
to add?
going to share something really quick. I've gotten, quite a few standing ovations. And one of the things I've learned is that when the people are in the back and they're just coming in late and their arms are folded because it's standing room only, okay? It's not a big audience, maybe 50, 60, but then there's more people coming in. And then I would say, come on in. And then their arms are folded, especially the men. And oh gosh, we're going to talk about love. And they just kind of roll their eyes. And I'll say something comical in a funny way. Here's one thing I say, something like, well, the best way to get along with your wife is saying, pause, yes, dear, yes, dear, yes, dear. So it's a win-win when your wife is happy, happy wife, happy life. But I don't say that because it's already known. But I say something about blah, blah, blah. And then I say, you know, when she asks you something, just say, yes, dear, yes, dear, yes, dear. And usually everybody claps and applauds. And another one that gets them is, ladies, when your husband empties the trash, always compliment him and give him a hug and say, thank you, honey, for emptying the trash and hosing out the garbage cans. And really mean it genuinely. Don't nag him when he comes through the door. Give him the clicker and a can of beer and put him in front of the TV for 30 minutes. And then he's putting in your hands. And when I say that, I've gotten literally men standing up and applauding. It's like, finally, a woman gets us. I've
Yeah,
heard that so many times. A woman gets us. And it's easy. Guys are so easy to figure out. Even with sex, it's like 5 minutes, you're done. It's like, do this before you have a party, and you need your husband's assistance for the event. And he's resistant because he wants to watch TV. I said, honey, let's take a shower together. It's 5 minutes, 3 minutes. It's so simple. And women say, oh yeah, that's right. And men say, thank you. Thank you. A woman gets us. And when I say something like that, I don't mean it in a derogatory way. I mean it in a loving way. Nothing about manipulation, but it's truth and it's funny. And I get the men and they actually feel seen, heard, and they feel special. And that's what I actually look at men, especially the ones in the back who are stubborn. And I catch their eye to make them know that they're being seen. Thank you, RV. I'm complete.
okay, beautiful. Great advice. Great advice. Okay, So, Peggy, what we're talking about eye contact, and we already did the lesson, and now we're just going around the room talking about, um, if you've experienced situations where, either good or bad with the eye contact. So that's what we're talking about now. So, Katrina, do you have any experiences?
The ordinary. I don't know if I look at people for 4 seconds, but I always try to look at everyone.
Okay. Well, now maybe become a little bit more aware of it. Are you connect? Because if it's too quick, if it's darting eyes, that's no connection, right? You're not connecting and communicating. So remember, contact, connect, communicate, continue. So that's about how long you want to spend with each individual in an audience.
Mhm.
Okay, or close to that. Not too long, not 5, 6 seconds, but not a second either. So
Mhm.
just in the beginning, you can. When you're scanning, that's fine. That's kind of like you're scanning for your own credibility and love and connection with the audience as a whole.
Mhm.
But then you want to connect with them
Okay.
individually as you talk several times. The smaller the audience, the more times you can connect with each and every one of them. Like I said, if it's big audiences, then it has to be the quadrant, right?
Mhm. Okay.
Section. And you spend more time in that section. Okay, good. All
Thank
right.
you.
Dr. Luana.
Well, I'm kind of like Jackie. I can't think of any bad experience other than when I first started speaking. That was a difficult thing because I grew up in the era where you didn't look people in the eye. And you mentioned looking in the eye. And that was one of the things that Toastmasters really got on me a lot about was that you need to pause and look at your audience and move on. But Um, yeah, I can't really think of any bad experience that I've actually had.
Well, a lot of times we might not think it's a bad experience, but a lot of times when we've all been guilty, me
Mhm.
included, and that's looking at our notes. When we're looking at our
Well,
notes or we're looking
yeah.
at our PowerPoint, we're disconnecting from the
Hmm.
audience. If we're disconnecting, that means we're not communicating,
Hmm.
right?
Ah,
We're letting the
okay.
PowerPoint do the communication for us, or we're trying to be eloquent with our notes and the way we read it. So
Yeah, I have looked at my notes, so if that's considered a bad experience, then that
yeah.
would probably be one that I have had. I have not used the PowerPoint as of yet.
And I'm not talking about glancing real fast
Mhm.
at a note. Remember, there's always exceptions to the rule.
Mhm.
But we've all seen speakers that are really, they've got their tablet in their face. How
Oh,
many have
yeah,
seen that? Or
yeah.
the phone. They think, oh, I'm not using
Hmm.
notes, but they got them all on their phone. And they're really like looking at them, barely looking at the audience. That's a disconnect, just
Hmm.
so you know. Why is that important? Why is disconnecting important? Not, why is that so important not to disconnect? Well,
Hmm.
if you're in it to get business, to make money, to raise funds, to change people's lives, you've got to connect. You've got to communicate.
Hmm.
If you don't care about those things, don't worry about it. But we all care about those things. We want to give the love. We want them to get, better love, more money. We want them to work on their finances. We want them to work on their health. Whatever it is, we have to connect and communicate with them and show them that it's a safe place in this room with you as the speaker, it's safe. It's safe for them to relax. It's safe for them to think. It's safe for them to feel. Because unless they feel something, they're not going to change. And like Dr. Love was saying, there was resistance, those men coming in. Why should I listen to this? There's resistance, right? They're so blocked, nothing's going to get through, right? I'm not going to listen. And then so she does a technique of using humor that relieves this to go like this. And now they're listening, their heart is open. So now they're welcoming communication. If it's like this, I don't care how long you look into their eyes, they're not going to be receptive to the communication and the connection. So, in some cases, hardcore cases like that, you've got to be looking at your audience and feel them and see, uh-oh, 90% of my audiences are men and they're resistant. I got to do something. If there's one or two, don't sacrifice the entire audience for one or two people that might be there because their boss told them to be there or because something else told them to be there. But do, if you can, if there's a majority, you have to do something to get them to listen, to get the heart open in order for you to communicate. Otherwise, the eye contact won't work, right? But for the most part, people come to listen to you because they want to. A flyer has gone out about you. They love your topic. They come. And I'm sure you've heard it too, but I always hear it all the time. I came just to hear you speak. I came just to hear you speak, right? How many of you have heard that? Right, Peggy, I'm sure you've had that. Yeah, I've heard just, because they loved your topic or they know you or something. So that most of the time this is already done and you don't have that hard work. But in Dr. Love's case, because the women love her, but the men have that resistance. So she takes care of that right away. So that's a beautiful example. That's what I mean by learning vicariously through somebody else. So now you know what to do if that happens to you, if you get a lot of resistance. Just treat it with humor. That's the best way. And, you know, show them that you know what they're going through or that you are on their side as well, that you get them, which is how Dr. Love put it, that you get them. Okay. Speaking isn't easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it, but it's not easy. All right, Ramona, you've spoke quite a few times to mothers and children and so on. Must be really challenging to look into the eyes of the little ones that are moving around. You got any tips or ideas or
Well,
you're
I'd have to say that is a secret to talking to little ones, is that
uh,
they when you lean forward and engage and look at their faces and stuff, they just naturally, look up. So it's easier to work with them than like teenagers who, they can be looking all over the place. But kids, you can tell when they're bored. They just like they're done. So it's like this automatic, yeah, it's automatically that you
they
engage
disengage.
and then they want to look at you. They're following you. And so, yeah, no, kids are easier. I mean, yeah, just easier to say you're boring. So pick up the pace, the volume, the actions, the involvement. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I,
it's
I I think adults do that, but now what adults do is go to their phone. If they're bored, they're going to go to their phone and start texting or Facebooking or something.
yeah.
So yeah, that's a problem that we have nowadays. But one of the things before we continue, I wanted to just share, and I wanted to come back and share it from what Dr. Renee said. When you include the audience with a big audience, well, even a small one, 25, I consider small, but even with something small like that, to include them, you walk to one side. You want to make sure you're not always dead on talking and just turning, but instead walk to a side of the room. If somebody asks you a question on that side, you walk to the opposite side of the room, right? Open your arm like you're including them, right? It's just a quick little thing. It's subtle. It's not a big deal, right? It's just you walk, stop, and what was your question? And put it down. Easy. Then if somebody over there has one, move on that side. What was your question? And you've just included everybody. Real important for people to always feel included in the talk. And that's what Carol had problem with when trying to reach the people in the balcony, right? So, but people in the room could also feel that way if you're just kind of staring straight ahead, even if you're just moving quadrants, it could feel like some people in the front aren't included. So just to eliminate that, just, and what is your question? And then now you're talking diagonal. instead of coming over here and talking straight on. You get it? Do you get the difference?
Mhm.
Okay, great. Yes, Carol.
Arvee, I was at a luncheon last week. There was 25 women, and it was set up in a long table style. They had a speaker, and my heart went out to that speaker because the speaker actually was behind the table. And what I mean by that is she was speaking to the backs of women on one side,
Mm.
and of course I saw her because I was on the other side. And I know she struggled to connect because how do you connect when you're actually speaking to the backs of people?
Yeah.
What would you do in that situation?
There's a couple of things you could do. One is, well, first of all, I would have found out where I was speaking before it even started and
Yes,
set that up to be better. So I've been in this situation where it's a long table and I set myself up at the end of the table. I move people that are at the end and
yes.
speak that way. That's one way. I remember one time I was speaking to a big group of executives and it was so many people that I had to share the beginning of my table, right? So I'm at the head table, at the head of the table, right? Got my stuff spread out, but some girl had to sit there, which was fine, right? I could deal with that. But then she ate my soup. They served, she ate my soup. I got done talking and I went, "Where's my soup?" And she's like, "Oh, I ate it." Danger, danger. No, but the other thing, if you don't know, and she finds herself like that, she could have simply said, "Oh, you know what? You all have lovely hair. It's beautiful. But you know what? I'd love you all to turn around so I could see your beautiful faces instead." And really request. Audience will do, know this, ladies. Audience will do whatever you ask them to do when you're the speaker. If you do it with confidence and authority and kindness, of course. But just, "Oh, your hair's lovely, but your faces are even more lovely. How about if you all just turned your chair around and faced me?" And they would have probably done it, but they didn't know what to do either. They were probably eating and they didn't know what to do and they felt silly. And then some couldn't turn around if all didn't. Remember, there's the crowd mentality out there, and very few people will start something. They're really rare. I know all of you are leaders and you know what I'm talking about because you're probably the ones that start something, but not everybody's like us. And so they're waiting for the proper thing. They're waiting for someone to do it first. They're waiting for the host or the president to give them permission. So you are that person that's in charge as long as you're giving the speech. You trump, Kate, the president. Got
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So it's up to you. So
Mhm.
does that help? I'll get to you just a second, Dr. Love. Carol, does that help?
Yeah, that's good.
Well,
Yeah.
could that have worked? I mean, I don't know the situation visually, but could that have worked if you all turned around a little bit?
Yes, I think that could have worked. I mean, that was the presentation was in essence while everybody was eating. So part and parcel too is make sure that you ask the whomever's luncheon it is that perhaps the room could have been set up differently as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've had that happen where I've had to
yeah,
speak while people are eating. And another approach you could do, or she could have done, is walk around a little
yes,
bit more and then actually physically touched people, like how Dr. Love touched somebody on the shoulder,
yeah,
and talked for a moment from there,
mm,
hand on somebody's shoulder.
yeah,
And, that'd bring attention to that person a little bit. So you don't want to spend 30 minutes there, but, 5 minutes here and then go. So she could have walked around, own the room.
yeah,
Please.
yes,
Own the room. Do what you have to do. As long as your jaw is flapping and as long
you,
as you're louder than the noise and as long as you're moving, everybody's eyes have to go on you.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel
yeah,
sorry for it's not optimal. I've spoke many times when people are eating. I don't like it. I think it's rude to everybody. It's rude to the speaker. It's rude to the audience. It's rude, so for a president or organizer to do that, they just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
know. If they were, a speaker, they would get it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but that's good. That's that's good tips.
For
Thanks.
you,
Thanks for
yeah, if
that.
you find yourself in that situation, if people won't move around because they're eating and it's not after eating, then you have to walk around. You
Walk
have to
around.
be
Yeah.
loud, walk around, be vivacious, be bigger than the food.
Food. Yeah.
You're competing with the food.
Yeah.
Bigger than that. More
Yeah.
important, your
Yeah.
message has to be, yeah, bolder. Yeah.
Yes, bolder. Even bolder than saying, "Hey, come and have a shower with me."
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Renee, what do you like to add?
So, a couple of points, and you're on spot on, RV, spot on. That's why we get to the venue early, an hour and a half, 2 hours. So if the table, we're looking at the table, it's like, uh-oh, this isn't going to work. You talk to the event planner or the general manager or something, then you ask, you call the event manager or event person, would it be okay if I adjusted chairs or something? Would it be okay if I speak after when they're at desserts or coffee? And these are all the questions that you have on the list. Remember last time you talked about the list, a sheet of paper? That's why we get there early. That's why we look at the venue first, what it's going to look like. The walking around is very important. Where are you going to be standing? The other thing is you can ask the manager of the restaurant, can we please have the food cleared before I speak? I speak at this time, and so that no waiters or something clanging, the dishes clanging against each other, or after I speak. Because I saw that just a few days ago at my Christian women's group. We had a group of 87 women and a speaker who was an astronaut's wife, who is very well known around the country and the world. She was speaking, and the waiter was banging on dishes on his bus tub. He was loading it up. I said, "Are you kidding me?" So I've spoken there many times, and I've actually asked the general manager, please don't have any servers while I'm speaking. And I'm speaking between this time and this time. Just don't have anybody in the room. Everybody will have served their coffee. Because I have a good relationship with the general manager, and I also give tips to the servers, because I do this on a regular basis, I'll have an extra 5 or a 10 that I'll give a maitre d' or something, just to make sure, because most people don't tip. And you got to have some money when you're in a restaurant or a hotel ballroom or something, that you're tipping the maitre d' or the ballroom manager or food and beverage, so that they're listening to you, and you have to go to leadership. And then what you just said, RV, about rearranging the chairs, or, oh, ladies, your hair is beautiful. You look like you just had it done. I'd love to see your beautiful faces. Would you mind looking at me? And say it like that. And they kind of giggle. It's like, oh, absolutely. It's like, all you have to do is pick up your chairs and just move them a little bit. Many people are timid. They just keep facing this way, and you're behind them, and they won't move their chair this way to look at you. Have you seen that? They just are timid. And when one person does it, then they all do it. Okay, thank you, RV. I'm complete.
Oh, I'm saying bye to Jackie. She's got to go.
No, I'm back. I left and now I'm back.
The chat just popped
I
up.
just got the message.
Okay, well, welcome back. I saw your little grandson. He's getting big.
He is. He's within an inch and a half of being as tall as his mother now.
Wow, he's big. How old is he now?
He's 12.
Wow.
I hadn't seen him since we were gone. They were on their way to choir rehearsal for Easter services.
Oh, how cute is that? Is he singing in it?
He is. He and another girl actually have a solo part. They're singing with the adult choir, which is pretty amazing because we go to a 5,000 person church.
Wow, that's nice. What song are they singing?
Well, they're doing the blessing to end the song, and then I forget what the first one is, where the choir backs him up, but he and a girl have a solo part. We're real proud of him.
Yes, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yay. Okay. All right. Anybody else have anything that they want to share? Peggy, do you have anything? You didn't speak. Oh, Tanya. Sorry, you're up in my upper corner. Tanya.
Okay, I'll go after Tanya. Yeah, I never even paid attention to looking in their eyes. I mean, I do look at the crowd, but I haven't been intentional about looking at different people. So this is really good. But I normally always look at the people who smile, or if I say something, they put their head back. I always tend to look at them a lot. And oh, and then now I know to get my husband to do stuff, I just need to take a 5-minute shower. Thank you, Dr. Love, for that. I think
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
take a
take
five a
I'm gonna
5 minute
take
shower
one right now
with
after
him,
this call.
not by yourself, but with
No,
him.
no, I get it. I'm gonna do it right after
Only
this
when there's
call.
an event, when you have a big event, people are coming over for dinner and you need his assistance, like emptying the trash, serving food,
Oh
like,
yeah,
honey, can you help me? Can you help me? And
yeah,
some guys just have this stubbornness, but after you take care of them, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. It's
yeah.
like 3 minutes,
I should have
two
done
minutes, like
that
so
before my
fast.
birthday party because I was saying, you need to
Yeah.
help me more. You see, I'm going through all my dinner. You need to help me. I should have just said,
Yep.
let's take a shower and call
Let's
it a
take a
day.
shower. And it's so simple. A little soap, a little dabadooya. That's it. Okay, thank you. I'm glad you like that, Tanya.
I love that.
But don't do
It
it all the time because then the only one special
doesn't
occasion.
work all the time. So, Katrina, you could borrow that, you know.
Hmm.
You could borrow that.
So looking at a person that smiles, the people that give you the positive feedback, I don't want to keep staring at them, but that's what I normally do.
Yeah, there, you know what? That's what you can do to when you're in the audience, is be one of those people that just sit there and smile
Hmm.
genuinely.
Hmm.
Because I've had people like that in my audience, and you're right, Tanya. My eyes tend to go to them because
Hmm.
they're just so happy and they radiate and they like loving what I say, and so I
Hmm.
just keep looking at them. But be that person. Be that
Hmm.
person in the audience. Well, not you, Tanya, because you can't smile right now, but does it hurt when you laugh?
I bet.
But you will be. But yeah,
Mhm.
be that person that smiles. It's really fun. The speaker loves that. All right, anybody else? Everybody,
How
Peggy?
about Peggy? Peggy.
So
Peggy?
yeah, I'll go. First of all, it's been very, very informative. I like the, changing position and things like that. But I'm like Tanya, I always look for someone that smiles because I'm nervous when I first go out there. If I find someone that smiles, I tend to look at them and more than anyone else. I try to look around at other people too, and always like eye contact, and just to be a little bit animated. I like that. But it's really good when you can look at someone in their eyes and catch their smile.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, then we will end our call a few minutes early today. Again, I'm going to be on vacation for the next 3 weeks. So go to passionatelyspeaking.com and look at some of the other recordings that you might have missed. And remember, when you do, if you want to come back and give a little report, like a 2-minute speech on it, that counts as one of your speeches for the year. All right. Now, many of you made a commitment to yourself and to us on how many speeches you were going to give this year. So that counts as one of them. Remember, a speech is any prepared speech that's 2 minutes or more in front of two people or more. But it has to be prepared. It can't be extemporaneous. It can't be winging it. It's got to be something that you sat down and prepared to say, and it's organized in the best way that you can make it. Now, obviously, you're not going to put 10 steps in a 2-minute speech, but you will have the beginning, the meat, and of course, the end of it. You won't have a story, your story in it. Got it?
I have a
Got it.
Does YouTube count? YouTube videos that you do, does that count as a speech?
What?
YouTube, when you do YouTube videos, you do a YouTube video, I do long form, 40
If it's
minutes,
if it's a
teaching, speaking.
if it's a prepared video, yes.
Yeah.
Just marketing advertisement, probably not. Yeah.
No, it's teaching, talking to the audience.
Yeah,
But
it
I
does.
don't see it. I don't know who's there, but obviously,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
eventually
but
I
someone
will.
will listen to it, right? Someone will
Yeah,
watch it.
I hope so.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I would count it.
Okay.
I would count it. But what I'm sharing with you is that you do this passionately speaking lesson. Tell us what you listen to, which recording you listen to, and if you prepare a little bit, then you can count that as one speech.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, I'm giving it
One coming
a
up.
gift. It's a gift.
It's a
Okay.
freebie.
Freebie, a freebie.
Arvee.
Okay. All right. So I hope you decide to do that because it's always fun listening to all of you give a report. Yes, Katrina.
Yeah, I'm going to be speaking for a single summit in a couple of weeks, and my topic that I was given was what would I tell them about what do I wish I had known before I got married?
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm.
Oh, that's a good one. Wow.
Just I think 5 to 7 minutes is all.
Okay. So you can give what? How many points are you going to give?
Probably three.
Yeah, that's all you'd have time to do and go into any detail about it. I love it. What 3 points are you going to share?
I'm not sure quite yet, but one of them I know is that you marry the whole family, not just the person. That's one of
Good. Good. Yeah, you married their history too.
them. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Carol.
Arvee, with the number of speeches would speaking on summits and podcasts, does that count as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just in the process of putting all of that into a spreadsheet.
Yes. You're
Yes.
doing your own?
Pardon me?
Are you doing your own podcast or is other people's?
Other people's, so far other people's, having my own podcast is part of my plan. Right now it's others. And I'm
Good.
having fun with that.
Good. 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 Yeah, that
Mhm.
counts.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Anything else before we say goodbye? And I would say aloha, but I'm not going to Hawaii.
Oh, I'm
We
gonna
say
Safe
say
bon
travel,
voyage,
have
bon
fun,
voyage.
Happy Easter,
and
everyone.
yeah,
All
happy
the best,
Easter,
Arvee.
everyone.
Wait, just
Show,
a minute.
show,
Jackie, go
compete
ahead.
well.
What, Jackie?
Compete well.
Yeah.
I'm not competing this
Oh,
time.
you're not competing. You're
Oh,
No,
just
October,
going for
Arvee,
fun.
I'm just
where?
vacation. Yeah.
Oh, are you going back to Hawaii for holiday?
No, I'm going to Boracay and to Puerto Princesa in the Philippines.
Oh, okay. That's just for holiday, just for fun?
Yeah, and
Oh,
Thailand.
are you by yourself or you have a group of
No,
friends?
Dawn's going with Dawn and I are going. Yeah.
Oh, just the two of you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to have a wonderful time and lots of great shopping.
Yes. Well, we went last time with the team, but there was 10 of us and we always had to do what everybody wanted to do. And you know how the crowd mentality is. There's always somebody that got a problem that you have to wait for, and then you did. So this way, it's just, we're just get to do more. You know
Do
what I
you
mean?
like the food there? Did you
Yes.
enjoy the food?
Yes.
Okay. It was healthy and you liked it
Basically
all?
what we eat anyway, rice and meat,
Yeah.
So it's basically, and vegetables, rice, so
Vegetables, yeah.
yeah, it's real good
Mhm.
food. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well, have a good
ma-
time and be safe.
yeah, they have mangoes there that is out of this world. I don't mean
Mm.
real mangoes, I meant dried mangoes, dried.
Mango. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really good. So
Oh, good.
Mm.
Well,
yeah,
have a great
that's
time and be safe. I'll be
that's
praying for your safe journey.
thank
Yes.
you. We need it because it's a 19-hour flight. That's the only bummer part of it. But it's
Mhm.
better than Hawaii. If you ever go there,
Yeah.
Jackie, better than Hawaii. And the
Yeah.
dollar, it's $58 to one of our dollars. So
Wow. So
Oh,
are you going to load up your Kindle so you can do a lot of reading on the plane?
no,
You have a Kindle reader? No? Oh, okay.
no, sleep and movies.
Oh, okay.
Sleep
Got it.
and movies. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
have a wonderful time. I've never been there, but that's part of my culture, and I definitely would want to go. So I'll ask you for
Oh, you
advice.
should.
Yeah, I'll ask you for advice when we're ready to go.
It's time. It's time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be going there twice this year. That's how much I love it.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah, because I'm going back in October to compete.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you'll have a wonderful time.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you all. Well, all of you have a blessed, oops, my speaker just moved. All of you have a blessed Easter, and we'll see you back in 3 weeks.
okay.
April 28th, we'll be back. Okay?
Okay. God bless you. God bless you, ladies.
Bye, everyone.
Everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Happy
Easter.
Resurrection Day.
Yes.